Welcome back. We spent a fair amount of time talking about the threats to America, whether it's economic or military, wherever it may come from. One of those threats, of course, is the problem with the southern border and the border crisis we are currently facing. It is a hot topic, and in this week's highlight from Hillsdale College's upcoming online course, American Citizenship and Its Decline, Dr. Hanson reminds us that illegal immigration is a threat to all Americans and to American citizenship because too many parties have too many vested interests and use illegal aliens in their pursuit of wealth and power. Victor Davis Hanson explains why illegal immigration undermines American citizenship this week in our Hillsdale highlights.
Right now, many Americans have to be vaccinated against the COVID virus, or they were not allowed to teach, or they're not allowed to work in a hospital. Yet the 2 million people that are coming across the border, there's no requirement that they be tested, or there's no requirement that they be vaccinated. So the United States, of all countries in the world, at its very founding, had the idea that you could become an American if you crossed the borders and you accepted the American idea. So when people came from diverse countries, they had skills, they spoke English, and they came legally, and there was not whole blocks of ethnic castes that had grievances or they had difficulties in assimilation with the majority population. And more importantly, legal immigration was welcome because it kind of reminded Americans that there were people who were very competitive and they wanted this system of free market economics, constitutional government, a Bill of Rights that was lacking in their home country. What happens when the host itself, i.e. the United States, has lost confidence in its traditions and customs and doesn't feel that it should or has a right or it wouldn't be nice to impose their values on people who are arriving across a border. Then immigration turns from something very desirable and positive to something that can be very pernicious and dangerous. The corporate establishment has been a big advocate of open borders. And it's been very hard to write op-eds for the Wall Street Journal or talk to the Chamber of Commerce because they feel that immigration, even if it's illegal, is very good for their own bottom line. And the Democratic Party said, if you come illegally, we will ensure that you will not be subject to the enforcement of immigration laws. We will provide you with entitlements, but we expect in exchange fealty and loyalty and fidelity at the polls. And it explains right why now we do not enforce immigration law. Because too many parties have too many vested interests, and we look at the border and it is a construct. It doesn't exist in reality. People are simply walking across, and you have people coming in vast numbers from one direction. They do not speak English. They're not legal. And we, the host, are not the hosts that we have been from the prior 280 years, but we feel diffident, lack of confidence about our own system. We don't feel we want to impose on our new visitors. We feel it would be cultural appropriation to tell them that this system is better than the one they're leaving. You add all of that up and you have chaos and the erosion of the idea of citizenship.
And not just the erosion, the destruction of the idea of citizenship. You see it everywhere. You see some places in California and elsewhere where they think it's okay for people that are not citizens to vote. At the local level only, they say, but if you start there, it's the camel's nose under the tent. If you allow people to vote who are not citizens at the local level, soon it will be the state level, then the federal level. Citizenship matters. It should anyway. But in this particular case, it is being destroyed by a policy of open borders, as Dr. Hanson explained. By the way, you can find out a lot more. Go to Gruber for Hillsdale to sign up for the free upcoming course, American Citizenship and Its Decline. You can do that. GruberforHillsdale.com. GruberforHillsdale.com. There are a whole host of educational videos that you can benefit from. I'm telling you, these are fabulous videos on all sorts of topics, not just American citizenship, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, great thinkers of the past like Aristotle. It's all there, and it's all at Hillsdale, something you should look into, Gruber4Hillsdale.com. And as I look at the border crisis, you have to ask yourself, what happens if this continues? The America you were born into won't be here, it seems. It will be diluted to the point of being unrecognizable, unfamiliar. Right now, we're facing 2 million illegals coming in, and that's probably a very low estimate, honestly. 1.2 million that have been apprehended at the border. Some estimates say 1.2 million that were gotaways, if you will, people that were in the country but never met a Border Patrol agent. So that's 2.5 million people. And the numbers are only increasing, obviously, with the offer of $450,000 for some that were separated from their family being pushed forth by the government led by Joe Biden. That will only incentivize further violations of American law and American sovereignty. And who gets to pick up the bill? You do. You do. The American taxpayer gets sent the bill regardless of what happens. You get sent the bill. And that's wrong. And yes, some organizations believe we need immigration to fill jobs that are going unfilled in America. But the way to do that is by following the laws that are in place, doing what is right. Allowing the free flow and an open border is dangerous for this country in the short term and certainly in the long term. Just no two ways about it. Gruber4Hillsdale.com. Find out more. Watch the entire series with Dr. Hanson, Victor Davis Hanson. I'll take a quick break and be right back.